All right. Welcome. Welcome to our EMSOI Kata review. Yeah. We're going to be talking about the 8 empty hand katas and the list of Kabuto katas, along with the several styles of kumite, bobo, bosai, and we'll do some work with the tanfa as well. So we wanted to check in and see how we go about building this live stream, because based on what I've been told, from now on, or moving forward with our radio programs, that we will not only be streaming, the live audio, but we will also be streaming the live video. And this is going to give us an opportunity to do two things. They said that not only while we're doing the radio programs, will we have access to the live streaming, but they're also going to offer us live streaming in our dojos when we work out. So when the students come and we bow in and we do a workout, those live streams are going to go out on social media, and then they're going to be archived on our website, which is Doc Magazine. That's right. We have an online magazine, and we're building right now. You can access the radio programs. If you scroll down on the homepage, you can click on the links there and listen to some of the prior programs. But in addition to that, now we're going to add another section to the magazine. And as I just described, we're going to be able to do the radio programs, live stream video, live stream audio, and then any of the hosts and co-hosts that would like to participate in uploading their videos during the class, that's going to be available as well. So we're actually very excited about that. So I'm here today to practice and get my system set up so that when I'm asked to do the radio programs, which my radio program is Doc Karate, and that airs every Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And that's part of the Doc Radio International Network. And there are other shows, but my show is on Saturday night. So I have to practice how to do this and, how this whole thing works. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to access this through my channel, which they tell me once you get the video going, you have to go to your, I think it's called your channel, your YouTube channel. So again, bear with me, folks. I am learning this as we go. But I want to see how what do I have to do to access the video while it's streaming live. And again, they told me that if you go to, let me come back here a second. Let me see. Where is it? Where do you go to get them? Is it, let me see here. Let's go back here. Let's see, let's go to my channel. I want my channel. Yes. Now, I think once this comes up, yeah, see, it is live now. Okay. So that's how you would access it. I got it, folks. the two programs that we do on Saturday and Sunday, one is called Doc Karate, one is called Ishinru Today. As I said, Doc Karate airs every Saturday night, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard, and Ishinru Today airs every Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard. So those are the times of the two programs that we're going to practice on. And our next program comes up today is Thursday. So in 2 more days, on Saturday evening, March 24th, yes, March 24th at 8 p.m., this channel will be broadcasting both the live audio stream and the live video stream. And now, let's see what we do to save them, folks. Because let's see here. Danny told me that if you go to the live stream, yes, then there's a feature here where you can share. You can invite people to the broadcast. Let me just write this down. When you're broadcasting on live on the while you're live streaming, the audio is of course most important. So I have to get. Alrighty. Now, let me just write this down because the address is important. When I go to share this, when this is happening, I usually put it up. I'll copy, cut, and paste the link, and I'll put it up on social media. And this way you guys can then click on the link and either listen to the show or watch the show or the class. So it's Thursday, and it's 3:22. So YouTube, and then it's the channel and live stream. All right, now, one of the things that we wanted to talk about today was the 8 empty hand katas. So we'll say Seisan. We'll say Seiyuchin. We'll go with number 3, Nehanchi. We'll go number 4, Wansu. Number 5, Chinto. Number 6, Ku San Ku. Kusan Ku. Number 7, Sun Su. And then number 8, San Chin. All right. So 1 through 8 is Seisan, Seiyuchi, Nahanchi, Wansu, Chinto, Kusanku, Sunsu, Sanchin. That's the order in which we teach them. There are Sanchin principles being introduced in the other empty hand katas. However, we do have a whole kata that we teach dedicated to the Sanchin core concepts and principles. And I've said now many, many times that Sanchin is the biggest dividend for this practitioner, um, just because of its elements, its core design, the concepts and principles. It is your body armor. Sunshine, if you become a lifelong practitioner and work out with the free weights and use the tension and build it up over years and years and years of doing that, the conditioning. Not that the other seven empty hand katas don't, provide you with, all of the cardio you need, all of the muscle memory, the stamina, the breathing. This is a lot of value here. But the for me, after practicing all eight of these, the one that seems to give me the edge in the fight is Sanchin, because you're going to probably get hit in a fight, unless you are so good that you can evade and protect in a way that allows you not to get hit, which takes a lot of practice. But the element of surprise sometimes is something that you cannot factor into your flinch response until it happens. So, taking any aggression from the parameters of your circle, once that enters your zone to evade and protect, um, the use of Sanchin principles in all the strikes and all the blocks and all the kicks and all the breathing, the mental preparation, all the things that are necessary for you to be successful in a fight and execute waza, to the highest degree of effectiveness, um, becomes the reason why we practice, and the why we practice so diligently. Um, and as I said, the list of requirements now that go into learning all of these eight empty hand katas. Um, you know, yes, you can learn these, and you can learn their core movements, and you can practice its bunkai by drilling. However, to learn all of these eight empty hand katas and truly understand them for their science, their value when it comes to practicing, the as I said, the aerobics of it all, um, the actual exercise, practicing the embusen, which is the path, all the waza, the drills, all the practice that comes from these empty hand katas. First of all, are our encyclopedia. It's everything that the founder passed on to us, that he organized in this fashion and wanted his practitioners to practice this way. Now, whether or not you start with Sanchin, um, or finish, um, somewhere along the line, even in Seisan, you have to teach the core principles of Sanchin, because they they appear they appear in the practice. So right here in volume one, if you want to call these eight volumes here, in this book, Seisan, um, there are so many things to be practiced in this kata, and it's great kata for drills. Pulling segments out of the kata and drilling them. But knowing that the information that you need to practice Seisan properly does have core components of Sanchin in it. So again, whether you end with Sanchin or you start with Sanchin, you at least have to explain uh, the concepts and principles of how to apply the Sanchin to the kata where it's necessary. So, effectively, let me go back to this article that I pulled up before on what the explanation of it was. I have it here. It's a system of individual training exercises for practitioners. So knowing that, again, I call them volumes. I call them like books because they're like our encyclopedia of all of uh, not only the movements, but the science behind the movements. There are movements in the katas, starting from the footwork on, that have a science to them. If you practice learning how to break someone else's balance when they are doing something to you, um, in Seisan, one of the footwork core elements is that you break your opponent's balance. So when it says a system of individual training exercises, um, again, Seisan provides a great volume of work to pull waza out and drill it, as do the other seven katas. But those books now start to get even more and more, I hate to use the word advanced, but it is an advancement on now, because now the next kata that you teach, Seiyuchin, you start that kata out with the sanchin breathing. So again, that's why when we uh, first started, or I should say, when I first started taking lessons, they taught me sanchin first. It was the uh, sensei wanted us to know what sanchin was because of the reasons that I just explained. It appears, those concepts and principles appear throughout this body of work here. So, in order for you to perform Seisan properly, you had to learn what he meant by Sanchin breathing and the tension, but yet not looking perplexed, if you will, that you're shaking. You should be in control. Um, and that was another thing that he made us understand. When people perform the Sanchin Kata, when they don't look natural, when they don't look, there is a certain, I mean, this kata, when we do Sanchin Kata, by the way, we take our jacket off. And the reason for that is to show the, it's not about the physique, it's about how you're applying Sanchin to your body. And the sensei needs to see how your body reacting to these concepts and principles, and then can make adjustments, because again, they don't want you trembling when you're putting sanchin on. You shouldn't be out of control. You should always be in control, therefore appearing to be very hard, but not so, like, when you pick something up that's really heavy and you sort of shake with it a little bit, and that's like your muscles trembling to try to handle that weight. Well, think of that for a second. Every time you pick up a free weight and you work out with a free weight, if it's too heavy, uh, you struggle with it, and your body will tremble to try to pick it up. And that's in this case, it's too much. Yes, it's too much. You're trying to build something out of something that's not really there. You have to use your own body mechanics to truly understand your limits and how much you can put on those limits, and then build from there. So it is a great discipline. Sanshin provides you with, especially in a fight, the right temperament. Sunshine is a great practice to keep you even. That you don't look angry, you don't look scared, um, you just look. And that's another thing. When I see practitioners do their kata, if you telegraph your moves by your actions, then the other fighter can take advantage of knowing what you or what he anticipates you might be throwing. So again, um, when you do sanchin, you're not supposed to be all like you're doing too much. You have to keep it, and the word is balanced. Sanchin is a great balancing of your body and how it finds level. Now, the more flexible you are, um, the more off level you can recover from. However, anybody who knows anything about fighting, once you break your balance, you've created weight. And once you create weight, gravity takes over. That's just the way it works. That's why they build buildings to be level and not lean, because when they lean, it's weight. So level not only reduces weight, but allows weight to be transferred properly. And that's what martial arts is all about. That's what the science of these are all about. Once you learn the core movements, then Sensei takes you into the science of why, how, what, all these things now that you've learned, you're going to have questions. Well, when this happens, when I do this movement, you told me, or we've drilled this way. But that does not mean that you cannot use that movement, that core movement, in other varieties. For instance, on the floor. What happens if you find yourself with people all around you, 4, 5, maybe 6 people, and they're all looking to do you harm? Well, let me tell you something. Standing up, it may not be the answer. You're fighting 6 people, you might want to go to the ground immediately with one of them. Immediately, and use them as a shield. All right. So just as our katas teach us the jitsu of what we call karate jitsu, um, the application of everything from the stances to the way you point your feet, toes out, toes in, straight, um, everything matters. Knees bent, hips. The hips are everything. Your power, you're going to generate this power from the earth up through your feet. That kinetic energy is going to be transferred to wherever you want to deliver your energy. So your body mechanics figures all that out. We teach you then this body of work, and then it's up to you to drill it, learn it, and again, we the path. Um, the American sensei talk a lot about embusen, and that's the path in which you travel when you're learning these. Each one has a different embusen. Not one kata that I've mentioned here has the same path. They all have different paths. So therefore, paying attention. I mean, you wouldn't go into the woods without a compass, would you? I mean, I wouldn't. I would not walk into a woods without knowing, what my bearings are. Once I go in that woods, unless I leave a trail of breadcrumbs, how do I know how to get out? So you have to have a compass. I mean, it's you don't drive your car without keys. I mean, today they have these fobs that you don't have to touch nothing. You just walk up to the car and it works. My neighbor has an electronic car, and it's amazing. It knows where he is. It knows it knows how he's sitting, and it's just an amazing thing. But going through this body of work, these 8 empty hand katas, and learning them again, no matter which order your instructor teaches them to you, Sanchin is one of the core elements of Okinawan karate. All the styles, all the concepts and principles that are taught on the island all have a form of Sanchin. So there's something to be said about that. There's something to be said about as you age and you continue to do these katas, you become conditioned in a way that most people that go through this, they don't go through this the way we do. I mean, we practice these in the dojo. We used to call it climbing the ladder. We would start at one, which is Seisan. We would go all the way down to Sanchin, and then we would do Sanchin again and go all the way back to Seisan. So right there, you just did 2 sets of the 8 empty hand katas. Do that for, let's say, 30 minutes in your class. And, I mean, if you choose to stop in between each kata and bow out, that is your preference. But what we do is once we bow and do the start of Seisan, rather than stop and bow out of each kata, the practitioners just continue to, go right to the next kata. So, for instance, after the break in Seisan, which is the last movement, you would then, you're taught to look, and now you're going to step, into the next part of the fight, if you will. And you're going to start your Seiyuchin kata. Each time we come to the end of a kata, again, we don't bow out. We just continue, up and down the ladder. Do that for 30 minutes in your class and watch what happens. Watch what happens. And then you get to see who practices. Because unless you practice, by the time you get to Sanchin and now have to do Sanchin a second time to get to Sunsu, Kusanku, Chinto, Wansu, by the time you get to Wansu, on the way back up the ladder, if you haven't practiced this and you're not used to this, you're probably going to do a really weak Nahanchi, a really weak Seiyuchin, and probably a desperate Seisan because you just guessed. All right. How long would you say? How many reps can you do in 30 minutes? Well, I mean, if you keep each kata down to what they should be, obviously Shinto, Kusanku, and Sunsu are time-consuming katas. There's a lot of waza there for you to execute, so they take a little bit longer. Whereas based on how you do Sanchin, that's also a kata that takes a little bit of time. So again, I don't put time limits on how you execute your katas. That you do that at your pace. But how many reps do you think you can do? And then my goal is to then take the exercise, right, and build it into Team Kata. Have everybody in the class the way we do it. We go through our 8 empty hand katas, and we do our workout. We go up and down the ladder as many times as we can in that segment for empty hand kata, because then we have to move on to the Kabuto kata. This workout, Sensei McGrath made a whole section of our student manual dedicated to this workout. And he went into some very, I'll say creative drills on his own that he took right out of the katas and riffed off of them. And then gave us an opportunity to build our own. You go in there, you go in any one of the 8 volumes and pull out any piece of waza that you want to work on. And then he gave us the flexibility to do like Sun Tzu and mix and match in our drills. You know what I mean? For instance, take, let's say, a core movement out of Kusanku and a core movement out of the Hanshi. Put them together and drill it. That's what that means. So you can mix and match, any part of the waza in those 8 volumes, just as you can in the weapons katas. So that's a lot of work. All right. So people that are concerned about, like when parents come and say, well, I want to sign my kid up for karate. How long is it going to take to be a black belt? Well, based on what I just said, to be a true black belt, probably never, because to study all of this stuff takes a lifetime. It just takes a lifetime. There's so much material here that in order for you to truly learn it, I would say you have to practice it, no? I mean, knowing what tools you have in your toolbox is great. But if you don't use those tools to do jobs, what good's having the tools? They look pretty, but you don't apply them, so you never get to use them. So therefore, you're not proficient at doing that job. Well, that's what I'm trying to say here. By you drilling these 8 volumes, what happens is over time now, you become proficient. Your flinch response becomes part of your essence. That's the magic of this. That's if there is anything magical about this work, it's that it hones the body and the mind, the spirit, to do things in unity and harmony, and the reaction of that is smooth. Do you understand? The reaction of that is smooth. And there's a lot to be said about the camaraderie as well. Right, I have wanted to transfer me to Katie Palmer. I was like, I'll just have Daniel's lawyer take care of it.